A rematch of the Minneapolis Miracle that left us a little somber last year. But this week, things are a little bit different in Minneapolis. We're going to talk about that game and one other on the PFF Picks of the Week for Week 8, brought to you, of course, by MyBookie.ag. I'm George Chahrouri, the big guy, Eric Eager alongside. Let's start, though, with Washington, New York. The Redskins heading to New Jersey to play the Giants. And this seems like sort of a, well, the Giants are down in the depths. Is it the right time to take them now? But we feel a little bit differently. Yeah, so the Giants had a good performance against Atlanta for them, right? A few weeks ago, they had a good performance for them in Carolina. And both when they came home to face an Eagles team that neither one of us would say is a championship contender anymore, they laid an egg, right? Washington, I think the leader of the NFC East right now, I think presents a big challenge for the Giants this weekend. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that defense reacts and how they play. You know, no Damon Harrison there. Adrian Peterson has actually been really solid and has caught the ball and allowed them to sort of keep him on the field, keep their offense going. Alex Smith has at least been avoiding the turnover-worthy plays, although he has really failed to make any throws downfield. The good news for the Redskins, though, is Eli Manning is in the exact same bucket. Those two guys are tied for fourth lowest catchable pass rate on throws 10-plus yards downfield. So I would not expect a barrage of points, but it would make sense to see the Redskins put their foot down and beat a team that they certainly should beat. Yeah, a lot of motivation here. You know, if they win this game, they're in the driver's seat for the NFC East. I think a division that no one really had them winning going into the year. Washington's defense a little bit weak against the run, but as our boss Chris Collinsworth says, you do not lose games via run defense. So a solid defense overall, and I think they bottle up Manning and Beckham here and actually force the Giants probably to give the ball probably too much to Saquon Barkley on the ground. Before we get to your hometown of beloved Minneapolis, I want to remind you guys that no matter what you are watching, there is always action to be had on mybookie.ag to make your experience that much better. So even if it's NBA on a Tuesday or NFL on a Sunday, you want to head to mybookie.ag where you can place any bet you can possibly dream up, whether it be for that game or for the entire season. They have great customer service and they make it easy to cash out, and that's why we both use it. And you should too. Use promo code PFF to get a dollar-for-dollar match on your first deposit. It's pretty simple. PFF plus mybookie.ag. You play, you win, you get paid. All right, this is a game that many people have been looking forward to for quite some time. The first matchup, or the last matchup I should say, did not disappoint. That's New Orleans heading to Minnesota. New quarterback in Minnesota. So I want to start with this. The game is currently a pick'em. And we think that the Saints should be favored by 1. But to start off with that, are the Vikings, is their offense worse or better than it was last season when they met? Yeah, I think you can make the argument their offense is better, right? I mean, Kirk Cousins has played really well. He's got a passer rating above 108 when clean, even when pressured. You know, we know that that's unstable, but it's over 85, almost 90 when pressured. So I think their offense is better. Where you have to look, though, is their defense, right? A season ago in the playoffs, they had the same starting defense as they did in Week 1 against the Saints in 2017. This year, you have Xavier Rhodes injured, you have Anthony Barr injured, you have Everson Griffin probably out again with his personal issues, Linval Joseph, Andrew Sendejo. That defense is nowhere near as strong, and I think that's what is pulling these points down. Last year, they were 5-point favorites in the divisional round. This year now, starting out at 2, now down to a pick'em here. Yeah, I think that both teams have really regressed defensively quite a bit, but where I see the regression mattering more is for the Vikings defense, and here's why. The Saints are keeping Drew Brees clean, right? So they're making other teams rely on their coverage. The Vikings were second in the NFL in pass rating allowed from a clean pocket. They're 19th this year. Yep. Drew Brees, the least pressured quarterback, means he sees the most clean pockets. Yep. And he has 127 pass rating from a clean pocket. Yeah, and Drew Brees has limited the turnover-worthy plays in all situations. And last season, when the Vikings got ahead in that divisional round, is because they got an interception in the red zone. It's because they pressured Brees more than other teams had. This year, Brees is only giving up a turnover-worthy play on 1.63% of his passes. I do not think Minnesota gives the New Orleans Saints offense much in the way of resistance, and so it's up to Kirk Cousins. And we know that Kirk Cousins, can be great at times, but there are also games where he simply can't keep up with the Los Angeles Rams of the world, for example. I mean, he's been under pressure a ton, and so far he's performed very well under pressure. But knowing how unstable that is, I'm going to take the side of the ball that I feel more confident will repeat its performances to this date, and that is the Saints. So in a league that is driven by offense, both these defenses, nothing to write home about. Take the offense that is better. I like Sean Payton in this situation, in this matchup as well. You feel like, look, them not having the ball, the Saints not having the ball at the end of that championship game is not something that will repeat itself. If they have the ball last, I'm really excited to have the Saints. So it's a pick 'em. take the Saints. If you want more of our picks, you can head to ProFootballFocus.com. Check out PFF Greenline that comes with a PFF Elite subscription, and read our weekly picks article. And then, of course, head to mybookie.ag.